Okay, so I'm pretty sure I got the best job in this room for two reasons. The first is I'm a motor officer, so I get to ride a motorcycle every single day. Okay. The second reason is, unlike the attorneys that I think left, I don't have to extend any fingers. I get to give tickets when I see cell phone violations. And I do it all the time. I'm here to represent Office of Traffic Safety, California Law Enforcement. I'm going to talk a little bit about California laws. Is that your slide? That's fine. Okay, and the effects that these laws have had in California, along with what my department is doing and other departments. Bye. There we go. Okay, so in California we have three laws. The first two became effective in 2008, the third in 2009. The first law, which is the 23-124, is an outright ban on any motorist under the age of 18 using a cell phone. It's common sense. These are new drivers. They are still learning to drive, and they tend to have the most socially active atmosphere out there where they're attached to a cell phone 24/7. So they're not allowed to use a phone at all while driving. The second law that we have is our primary enforcement law, 23-123. And it's any use of a cell phone device while driving a motor vehicle that's not used with a Bluetooth or a hands-free device and used that manner as a violation. Now, both of these laws, the way they're written, it makes it where if the phone is in the person's hand, it's a violation. So it's very, very easy for us to enforce. This includes people using their phone for GPS, for Facebook, for anything they use that phone for. If it's in their hand, it's a citation. The third law, which came into effect only about 6 months later, is our texting ban. Very simple. Any device, a little bit different because it's not cell phone, it's any device that is used for sending or receiving a text-based message is a violation. So that includes PDAs, laptops, iPads, any device that's in the car and the motorist is using is a violation. Now, all three of these laws that we have apply no matter what the motorist is doing. I know that's different from state to state. In California, if the vehicle is what we call in transit, which means it's on the roadway, there's a violation. Okay? If the person is stopped at a red light, stopped at a stop sign, and they decide to use their cell phone, they're in violation of the law. If they pull over the side of the road out of traffic, we're not messing with them. They're fine. That's good to go. I'm glad that they do it. But if they are stopped on the roadway and they're affecting other traffic because they're using a cell phone, we'll absolutely give them a citation. So each one of these violations in California cost on the first offense $159 minimum. There may be additional fees. On a second and every subsequential offense, it's $279. So the price keeps going up the more citations they get. And it stays on their driving record for, I believe, 3 years. Okay. So in 2011, California conducted in the nation the first survey as far as an observation survey. And what they determined was about 9%, approximately 1 in 10 motorists at any given daylight moment is distracted by a cell phone. It's 1 in 10. I mean, we drive down the road all the time and we see vehicles. I mean, okay, many times I come to an intersection and see 30 or 40. That means you have 3 or 4 people minimum that are distracted by a cell phone. The same survey showed that 62% stated that texting or talking on a cell phone was the biggest safety concern they had on California roadways. In addition to that, an astounding almost 84% of motorists in California stated that texting or using a cell phone constituted the biggest distraction on the roadways. So 84% of people in California know that this is an issue. So what has law enforcement done? Well, we do what we do best. We give tickets out. And you can see that over the last couple of years, these numbers have gone up continuously, okay? And in some cases, such as the texting, it's doubled in the amount of citations we've issued. And it's going to continue to do that because law enforcement understands that this is a safety issue and a concern. It's something that we concern when we're driving with our families off duty and when we're on duty. The only thing that's gone down, as you can see up there, is the under 18 use. I'd like to say that that's probably, it'd be nice if I could say it's because of education and people are changing. In reality, the analysts say that there's actually less drivers under the age of 18 today than there was back in 2009. So that number may actually increase. Only time's going to tell. So California, we support National Distracted Driving Month. This is the second year in a row that we've done it. And through the Office of Traffic Safety last year, we kicked off the It's Not Worth It campaign. Okay, spent $1.5 million, developed 3 commercials, used NHTSA's commercials. We did these commercials on radio, TV. We used billboards and social media. 280 police departments in California, along with 103 CHP's California Highway Patrol areas, issued 52,664 citations in April 2011. It's a lot. Okay. In addition to that, there were 272 known printed news articles, along with 625 fixed changeable message signs. And these are the signs you see on the side of the highway that say warning, for whatever reason. And they had a simple message: handheld ticket, $159. It's not worth it. Okay. So what was the result of this? Well, when we compared 2011 to 2010, there was a 7% decrease in fatality collisions. So that leads us into, are these bans and these laws that we have in California effective? Well, absolutely. It's easy when we can see that when we compare 2 years before the ban and 2 years after the ban, there's a 22% decrease in fatality collisions in California. In addition to that, when we look at collisions that we know the person was using a handheld device before and after, there's a 47% decrease, 50% decrease just because the law is out there. So people are learning. Okay. Additional surveys showed that 40% of Californian motorists said they talk on the phone less because of the laws there. The Insurance Institute of Highway Safety, or the IIHS, also from their surveys show that in states that have a ban, there's a 44% decrease compared to only a 30% decrease in people saying they use the phone less. That's 14% difference just because the law is there. The IHS also said that based on if you have a ban in effect, it has a long-term effect at curbing handheld use while driving. So at my department, there's a couple things that, like I said, we are doing. Other agencies in California are doing the same thing. First of all, I'm an expert in DWI, we call it DUI in California, where I've arrested many drunk drivers. And I can tell you without any doubt in my mind, because I see it every day, a person who is extremely impaired drives the same as a person who is distracted by a cell phone. I'm behind these people. I watch them drive off the roadway. I watch them run stop signs, red lights, and I would expect that because they're not looking at the roadway. But it is the same, and in some cases I'd almost argue it would be worse because it's almost driving like with your eyes are closed. In California, the cell phone law is actually exempt to police officers. However, at my department and other departments, we've decided that we're going to lead by example. We've said if you're a patrol officer and you're driving a patrol car, you're not going to be using a cell phone unless it's used in a hands-free device. Our department's actually gone out and outfitted all our patrol cars with hands-free devices, so the officers are not allowed to use a cell phone while driving. So, like I said, although we are by law, it's a lead by example. We want to let people know that the safe thing to do is to have both hands on the wheel and not use your cell phone. The last 2 years, we've participated in the National Distracted Driving Month. Twice a year, we go out to our local high schools. We have 2 in Novato, and we do presentations on alcohol and stuff, but we also incorporate distracted driving in there because it is a growing issue in our community. In 2011, which was the first year that we really started to get into distracted driving, we had the National Distracted Driving Month. Our department issued 1,113 citations. Okay, that's 19% of all citations. There was something like 5,700, so 1/5 of all citations were cell phone citations. And we look at the previous year, I don't have the numbers up there, but there was only like 243. So we quadrupled the number that we wrote just in that 1 year. In addition to that, like I said, I was a motor officer. Well, I'm also a traffic and accident investigator. And our policy at our department, and I know at other departments because they're doing as well, they have the same equipment, is whenever we have a major injury collision or a fatality collision, we are confiscating cell phones, we're getting subpoenas for cell phone records, we have a device, we can actually download all the data off your cell phone. It'll tell us when that cell phone was in use, what it was being used for, and a lot of times we're determining that a cell phone was in use within seconds of a collision occurring. So as was mentioned before, but I got up here. This story is a little bit personal to me as well. The reason why I'm here. December 1st, 2010 is a day I'll never forget. I was on patrol when I got a phone call from my brother, and I didn't answer it because I was writing somebody a speeding ticket. And I went back to the office and I listened to it, and his voice said something was wrong. He said, "You got to call either me or your dad. There's an emergency in the family." I had no idea what I was about to hear. I was expecting something else along the lines of what I heard. But what I found out was that my niece, Calli, was killed in a crosswalk. That she was at a park with her mother, Ling, my sister-in-law, and they were walking across the street and they were killed. That is the text message that killed my niece and the reason why I'm here today. And I know everyone in this room agrees with me, but that is obviously not worth a life. But that is a text message that killed my niece. Oh, the picture didn't get up there. Well, I had a picture up there, but I guess it's not there. But there we go. December 1st, 2010, Calli and my sister-in-law Ling, they were at a park about a block away from their house. I have 2 kids. I know I go to a park right next to my house. I'm sure there's plenty of you out here that have shared that same experience. It's about 5:30 in the evening. They're on their way home. They walk up to a crosswalk. A vehicle is driving towards them. Speed limit's about 35 miles an hour. That vehicle comes, stops. Sees them, knows that they're going to cross, stops for them. They begin to cross. They get probably about 10 to 15 feet out into the roadway when they're struck by a vehicle doing 35 miles per hour. Calli died at the scene. They transported her because I know that's what paramedics do, but she was, all of 2.5 feet tall and took the brunt force of the impact. There's no way she could have survived. My sister-in-law Ling, she has injuries that will last a lifetime, both physically and mentally. So as a result of the investigation, they determined that the 18-year-old college student was driving down the roadway and never even saw them. She was driving 35 miles per hour, was sending that text message I showed you when she hit my sister-in-law and my niece. And when she got out of the car, she had actually, my understanding, she thought she may have hit an animal. We were hoping she hit an animal, but she didn't. So I'm here today to say that if in California we have a 96% seatbelt rate, we have 84% of motorists saying that distracted driving is a bad thing, that we're on the right path. I think we got a long ways to go, but it's going to take everyone in this room and a lot of other people to get us there, but I know we can do it. Thank you very much.